Bertemu kembali. Selama ini kita selalu mendengar cabaran yang disuarakan perniagaan kecil, sederhana dan mikro di Malaysia akibat penularan COVID-19 dan PKP yang dilaksanakan kerajaan. Kerajaan telah turut mengumumkan pelbagai pakej rangsangan untuk menolong PKS dan M ini untuk berdepan cabaran semasa, termasuk berkenaan aliran tunai dan gaji pekerja. Namun apakah cabaran yang dihadapi perniagaan besar di Malaysia dan bagaimanakah normal baru perniagaan di masa hadapan selepas COVID-19 dan PKP? Kita ingin melihat sudut ini dan juga inovasi baru yang boleh diterapkan untuk memastikan perniagaan dan ekonomi Malaysia mampu berdepan tempoh tidak menentu selepas PKP dan COVID-19. Saya telah merakamkan temu bual dalam bahasa Inggeris dengan pengasas dan pengerusi QI Group of Companies, Dato Sri Vijay Eswaran. QI Group terlibat dalam perniagaan termasuk resort, pendidikan, jualan langsung dan gaya hidup dan mempunyai pejabat di lebih 30 buah negara. Saksikan temu bual berkenaan. So, Dato Sri, what do you think will be the new normal for businesses after COVID-19?
Clearly, there are many things that are going to change, and some of them are going to be long-term. The thing that I see happening most is that within a very short space of time, we have adapted to the world of the internet. Just the other day, I was talking to a chairman of a bank who was telling me that prior to the MCO, their ATMs were fundamentally 90% of their business. Within a very short space of time, 2 weeks after the MCO, the ATMs are gathering cobwebs, and it's all internet banking today. In my own experience, we are an e-commerce based company. So primarily, e-commerce has become the face of our company right now. And moving forward, the new norm will require us to embrace the millennial concept. You see, up to now, we have been to somewhat to a lesser or greater extent ignoring the millennials because we think that this will take another 10 or 20 years before they kick in, the millennials and the centennials and so on. What has happened is social media is now the only way to communicate. So grandparents are communicating faster than anyone else. We have all adapted and adjusted and accommodated a brand new world. That will remain. So that is definitely one of the new normals that I anticipate.
Maybe you could explain to us what this new, the millennials, the centennials, what do they bring when it comes to businesses, when it comes to e-commerce? What new values do they bring to your business or to businesses around the world?
The millennials are a lot more comfortable transacting online. They have absolutely no problem looking at a product, assessing it, immediately checking the reviews, going and flipping through their own social networks to find out about a product, and then making a decision and buying it online. Whereas, we belong to a generation where we must pick up the, product, feel it, touch it. A millennial could buy a durian online. Now, you don't see ourselves doing that. We mesti bau. We have to hold it and smell it, So there are many changes in that respect, and some things that we have to learn from them.
And speaking of changes, during this MCO, many companies are implementing work from home. How has it worked out for your company? Are there new learnings that you can share with us, or best practices that you can share with us and businesses watching this right now?
We have found that working from home is a very cultural experience, and it is culturally distinct from country to country and office to office. We have somewhat in the region of 30 to odd offices around the world. So within ASEAN itself, it is very different. The cultural experience dictates the productivity of the workforce. So in Malaysia, because perhaps of our schooling and the British school system and everything else, a 9-to-5 existence is somewhat necessary, particularly for the great majority of the workforce who need something just like our school system has worked. Mesti ada rotan. But unfortunately, the world has changed at a tremendous rate right now, and we are all working from home. So what has happened is that a greater responsibility has shifted to them to deliver on time, delivered to deadlines and deliverables that have been demanded of them. And these things are all being maintained while they're sitting at home and working from a sarong, you see. And it's a mental attitude that hasn't yet totally caught up. But I do expect it to grow phenomenally in the next, few months or weeks or years, sorry.
But what do you suggest the government do to increase consumer and business confidence post-MCO? Is there pain points that you want the government to address immediately before the end of the MCO?
The biggest problem will be that it is the SMEs. The SMEs are going to be the hardest hit, and they are the backbone of the economy. The bigger corporations, the large corporations will probably survive and get through this with less of an impact. But the SMEs, many of them will be totally destroyed. They will be obliterated. And for them to pick up the pieces and come back again is something that the government should look at ways and means of supporting. So it is loans, it is looking at their fundamental business projects and advising them, putting them back on their feet. We are a culture of SMEs. We go to the food court to eat. So basically, all of those guys are going to be hit hard. The Pasar Malams, Pasar Tani, they don't have anything to carry them over for 2 to 3 months. They will actually suffer. So this is what is going to be a fundamental problem.
But looking at where we are right now, where the government has announced measures to help the SME, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say, but the MCO is just for maybe 6 weeks, for a month, for 6 weeks. Will that be enough to obliterate the majority or the SMEs that you mentioned earlier in Malaysia right now?
Let me put it to you this way. It's already been 6 weeks, more or less. And as we stand right now, they have already taken a hit. There are many shops or little businesses, enterprises that have already closed down or on verge of bankruptcy. So another 6 weeks would totally wipe them out. And this is not something unusual only to Malaysia. This would do the exact same thing in the entire ASEAN region. Indonesia would be far worse hit, and so would the Philippines. But definitely here in the Malaysian context, I would say to you that this is something that is going to be very serious, because it is the SMEs that drive the industry. It is the SMEs that are the lifeblood of an economy, any economy. So there has to be a lot more thought given to this.
Yes. So, Dato Sri, if I could just add one more question with regards to the SME, do you think the things that we discussed earlier, the e-commerce, the work from home, would the SMEs be more open to that, and would that help their businesses, or is different? Practice altogether, this would probably be much better for the big corporations as opposed to the SMEs. What do you make of that?
Totally, I totally feel. Not only are they embracing it, they're changing much faster than we imagined. As a matter of fact, I mean, right now, for instance, I buy my vegetables literally online, and it's not coming from a supermarket. It's coming from the Pasar Tani people themselves. You see, they are basically saying, over a phone call or over the internet, what they have. You see, the smartphone has basically become the fundamental tool of choice. So they can instantly take a photograph of the vegetables they have right now or what is available, and you have it on WhatsApp. So if you're on WhatsApp, together with your vegetable supplier, he delivers it to your house. So in effect, that's already happening. It's something that is happening right now because of the MCO. But I feel because of the convenience and because it is actually a far more pragmatic way of approaching the business, it will work even after. And the millennials will love it.